Well, hello there, Slay Moms. This is Deaquilin, and thank you so much for joining me today. I know I'm going to give time for uh, you all to join me live, but I'm welcoming you as you come in, and I'm so grateful to have you here today. Get my hair ready. To have you here today with me. I'm so happy to be able to share some information with you. And I want to get some feedback from you before the class or before this live is over, this broadcast is over. And basically, the feedback is if you want more Slay Mom classes, just let me know and what topics that you would like to be for me to discuss. Today, we're talking about how to have great communication skills with your daughter. But before we get into that, I just wanted to let you know more about me because I know that some of you are not aware of who I am and the work that I've done with teens and even now raising a teen girl. But I am Deaquilin Williams, and I am a life coach. I am a spiritual teacher, and I like to call myself an empowerer. Empowerer. There are teachers, people who teach. There are coaches, people who coach, but I call myself an empowerer because I empower people, especially women and teen and young girls. And so I'm excited to be able to present to you these classes for your daughters, and I'm going to get into what S.L.A.Y is all about. But in 2002, I was living in St. Louis, Missouri, and God told me to move back to Birmingham, Alabama, which is where I'm from. And reluctantly, I moved back. I did it out of obedience, but I was very reluctant. And so I moved back. And shortly after that, he told me to do a teen conference. So in 2013, I did my very first teen conference. And I've been doing teen conferences and working with teen girls ever since. We've had conferences, we've had teen retreats, also had a teen college tour where we went to Georgia to visit, I believe it was Morris Brown, Spelman. We had a couple of young men that went to Morehouse, and we also visited Georgia Tech or Georgia State. I can't remember. And they were able to ask questions and get insight and know what it takes to go to college. And since then, I've hosted girls empowerment sessions in my home and also at a local library. And I'm always excited to work with the young girls because I do believe that the more you know, the more you grow. And so my goal is to teach them life lessons at a young age so that as they get older, they're still going to make their decisions and still make some I don't like to call them mistakes, but learn some life lessons by doing things on their own. However, they cannot say that they don't know or they wasn't aware. And so my goal is to make them aware of life and situations. So we started out with the program, and it was Empowered for Life. And then it went from Empowered for Life to QLIN Etiquette and Empowerment Academy for Girls. And that was simply named after my then business, QLIN Incorporated. And since closing QLIN Incorporated in January of this year, and now I'm in restructure stage of what I want to do with coaching women and how I want to do everything, I decided to change the name of the program. And so as of 2 weeks ago today, we are officially Self-Love Academy for Youth, and aka S.L.A.Y. And we have a Facebook group for teens, and we had our first virtual online boot camp last Saturday, and it was amazing. And we've been doing our boot camp workout for 7 days, and today is the seventh day, and we ended. And I'm so excited about everything that we're doing. The classes there will be live, and it's for any young lady who's in middle school or high school. And mothers, you're welcome to join us for those classes. I do have a young girl who is not quite ready for social media, but her mom joined the group, and so she watches through her mom's account. So moms, if you have daughters who are not on Facebook, but they can watch it through your account, then feel free to join. I will post the link in the comments after this broadcast is over. So with that, um, I want to just feel led to do some classes for moms, because this is all about growing your daughters and getting your daughters prepared for life. And begins with you, and what how you teach them, and what you share with them, how you communicate with them. And so today I want to talk to you about having great communication with your daughters. Now, I am a parent now. My sister passed away a little over 5 years ago, about five and a half, almost a little over 5.5 years ago. And her youngest daughter was 9 then, and she's about to be 15 now. And so I do raise her, and we have great communication. And sometimes we talk about certain things. I'd be like, Lord, I don't want to know this. I don't want to talk about this. Also, her friends also reach out to me and everything, because I just have this I would say open door policy, non-judgment policy, and I listen, and then I guide and direct accordingly. And so with that, I just thought that this was be a great class for me to share with you on how to have great communication skills, with great communication and skills with your daughters. And one thing that I do know about this young generation that we're raising now is that they want transparency. They want transparency, because what's happened is, I don't think that they want it I think, let me say it this way, they want it by default. And the reason why I say that is because now the society is just throwing things in their faces now, like really throwing things in their faces now. And so they want transparency. They want people to be real with them, and share with them from a real space. And so with that, I think that as parents and mothers, and maybe you're a grandmother watching this and you're raising a teen, the best thing that I can say to you is be transparent and be open, and don't try to hide, or don't even try to shield, I would say. Yes, you do to a certain degree, but what I mean by that is, if they're going to be exposed to something, I would say make sure that you're aware of whatever it is that's going on in their lives, and that you're open with them to discuss and talk to them about whatever is going on, okay? Because you can turn on TV now, you can turn on social media, just open your computer screen and things are just right in your face. And there is a way that you can guard. However, what I'm saying is, in any case that you're unable to, then there is a way for you to communicate with them and share with them and be open and even transparent about your life. So with that, the first key in having great communication skills with your daughter is to be available. Make yourself available, because, we can sometimes be so busy with work, so busy with, maybe you're a working mom and you're in school. You can be so busy with life. You can be so busy with perhaps your relationship. You can be so busy with church. You can be so busy with everything that you're not making yourself available to your child. So the first thing is, make yourself available for conversation, but just make yourself available overall. Now, in my diaconalist classroom, I do have a parenting class, and I will also link that in comments, where I talk about being intentional in your home. And one of the things that I talk about is being present in your home. And so in being present, it's just making yourself available, making yourself there to be there with your children. So make yourself available for your daughter whenever she needs to talk, whenever she, is going through something. Make yourself available, even if nothing else. Make yourself available to listen. You may not need to give advice. You make yourself available for her to have a crying shoulder. Just make yourself available to her. That's the biggest key. The second way to have great communication skills with your daughter is to be fully present in the conversation. So say you and your daughter, you're talking about a certain thing and or a certain situation, and maybe your phone rings, and so you are on the phone and you're texting and she's talking, and so she doesn't have your full attention, and that sends a silent message to her that she's not as important as whoever or whatever is on the phone. So just make yourself fully present in the conversation, whatever conversation that you're having. It could be something as simple as her talking about her day when she gets home from school, and you just making yourself available and you're looking at her and you're making eye contact and you're nodding your head to acknowledge that you hear and understand what she's saying. So be fully present in the conversation and don't let anything else distract you. I know that when Aaron is in school, and when my nephew Brandon, when he was in school, he's in college now. But even now though, when he comes home, I ask him, how's everything going? And he'll talk to me. I just stop everything and I listen. But even when they were coming home from school, I stopped everything and I listened. I would tell people at 3 o'clock, they come home at 3:25, 3:30. I would tell people at 3 o'clock I couldn't talk for a couple of hours because I wanted to make myself fully available so that I could be fully present with them when they came home and they talked about their day. So be fully present and engaging in the conversation. Don't just sit there and just listen or roll your eyes or have the body language that feels like you don't want to be there. Make sure that you're fully present and you let your daughter know that she's important to you and what she has to say is important to you. Whether, again, she's talking about, her day or walking down the hallway at school, or whether she's talking about a boy or a situation with one of her friends, just make yourself fully present in the conversation. So that's number 2. Number 3, and this is key, is don't judge, don't criticize, and don't condemn whenever she tells you anything. Listen, and listen with an ear of love, not with the ear of judgment or condemnation or criticism. Listen with the ear of love. And here's a key that I do a lot. Even when I'm coaching, I do this when I'm talking to my niece. Sometimes I do this when I'm talking to any of the girls that are a part of my program, is as they're talking right before they say, like, somebody will say, hey, I need to talk to you about something. Or if one of my coaching clients need me right away for something that's not scheduled or whatever, I always ask the Spirit of God to help me help that person. So in that, when I'm talking about not judging, not criticizing, and not complaining, and listening with an ear of love, then ask the Spirit of God to help you to help this person. If it is a situation where you need to give advice, if it is a situation where you just need to have compassion and just listen sometimes, because a lot of times that's all our daughters need. And I know that for me personally, sometimes it helps me to talk through my situation to a person. And then I usually come up with my own answers and have my own solution when it's done. So when you're talking to your daughter, don't listen to criticize, don't listen to judge, don't listen to condemn, but listen with an ear of compassion, listen with the ear of God, so that you can extend love and the compassion and understanding and all the things that she needs during that moment. Because you got to realize that she's opening her heart to you and she's sharing something with you. And the second that you judge, you condemn, or you criticize, she's going to close her heart. It may not close all the way right at first, but every time you do that, they'll close more and more and more and more. And then you're going to wonder, well, I can't talk to you. I can't get this, I can't, every time I talk to you, you don't listen. Well, she doesn't listen because every time she says something, you're judging, you're criticizing, or you're condemning her. Okay. So that is number 3. Don't judge, criticize, or condemn. Number 4, don't try to control the conversation. Let her talk. Now, if she needs help with communicating a certain way, maybe she say, I don't really know how to fully express myself. Maybe you can help her in that, but don't try to take over the conversation. Allow her to fully express herself. This is great not only for your listening skills and you allowing her to express herself, but it also builds her confidence in sharing her true feelings and her true self with herself first, but also with you. So don't try to control the conversation. Let her talk and let her be fully expressive in however way she needs to be fully expressive in whatever it is that she needs to say. Okay. Now, of course, yes, you do want respect, but you just let her be expressive, as fully expressive as possible. So that is number four. Don't try to control the conversation. Just allow her to control the conversation and have and lead the conversation wherever it is that she leads, and you follow sometimes. Number five is don't be combative if she shares anything that she feels is wrong with you. Okay. I learned this lesson in such a powerful way. Not only did it teach me about myself, but it also taught me about forgiveness. And I can share this story now as a lesson more so than when I shared it before. But my niece had a Kindle Fire, and she had it for I think about a year or two, and then I had bought me a tablet, and I let her use the tablet, and it had and when she brought it back, it had the screen was cracked. And so I was like, well, you cracked the screen. And I, said something to her about it. And she said she was sorry. She didn't recall doing it. It probably was an accident. Maybe she set it down a certain way or whatever. So she didn't recall doing it on purpose. So I told her I forgave her. Well, what happened was, I think the next day or later on that night, I posted the story on Instagram, and I said, she has a Kindle, and she's had it for a year and a half. I've only had my my tablet um for like I think I had it a month, and I said she used it one time and she cracked my screen. And so she saw that on Instagram, and she came to me and she was like, Auntie, I thought you said you forgave me. And I said, I did forgive you. She said, well, why did you post it on Instagram? So what she did was she brought up my error, my mistake, but she also taught me a lesson that when you forgive someone and you say you let it go, you let it go. There is no need to remind a person of anything. So when your daughter tells you something about yourself, that's not a time to be combative. That's not a time to yell. That's not a time to scream. That's really a time to uh, reflect, do some introspection, and find the truth in whatever it is that she's sharing. I say this all the time, that when people tell you about yourself and it stings a little bit and you feel uncomfortable, that's because there's some truth in it. So whatever she shares with you, don't take it the wrong way. Don't be combative. Just listen and just say to her, you know what, you gave me something to think about. Let me think about that. Let me ponder that. And then use this as a way of showing yourself or learning more about yourself, as she shares with you maybe some issues that she may have with anything that you do or say. Number six is learn each other's love languages. Learn each other's love languages. There is a giving love language, and that is what you give. And there's also a receiving love language, what you like to receive. And the five love languages, you can do the five love language test, the website, and this is fun, probably a fun activity for you and your daughter to do together. And that is www.5lovelanguages.com. 5lovelanguages.com, and learn each other's love languages. There are the five different love languages are quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts, and acts of service. So those are the five love languages. Now your daughter could, for example, her giving love language may be acts of service and maybe gifts. Maybe she likes to give gifts and she does service, like maybe she likes to clean up and serve you when you cook dinner or something like that. That may be her giving love language. For her receiving love language may be words of affirmation, or it may be, quality time. And the same thing with you. So learn both your love languages and begin to speak to each other in those love languages. And know this too, that as your daughter grows and evolves, and as you grow and evolve as a person, that your love language could possibly change. I know for me, for a very long time, I didn't need words of affirmations, but then all of a sudden, after I became a parent, I needed words of affirmation. So when your life changes and situations change and you evolve, then your love language may change accordingly. So that is number 6, learn each other's love languages. And number 7 is to be honest. When you're talking with your daughter, be honest. That's one of the things that I can truly say about my relationship with my niece Erin, is that we have an honest relationship. We have honest conversation, and there is nothing that I hide from her, because my life is an open book to my clients and to my students. So of course it has to be an open book to her as well. Not only that, but um, honesty is a great way to honor yourself when you're talking to her, but it's also teaching her how to honor herself and to speak her truth, and speak her truth without having any type of shame or guilt surrounding that. So be honest in your conversation with your daughter. So that's all that I have. I wanted this to be quick because I know that you're amazing moms, and this is a Saturday and you're probably doing some things with your daughters. So I'm going to go over that one more time. Those 7 ways to have great communication with your daughter. Number 1 is be available. Number 2, be fully present. Number 3, don't judge, criticize, or condemn. Number 4, don't try to control the conversation. Let her talk. Let her take over sometimes the conversation. Number 5, don't be combative if she shares um, or feels, something is wrong with you. Don't be combative if she shares something that she feels is wrong with you. Number 6 is learn each other's love languages and speak accordingly or act accordingly. And then number 7 is be honest. Be honest. So with that, I want to encourage you. Well, let me say something about being honest too. Um, I'm sure I can share this. I have a friend who her daughter is starting to talk about boys and things like that, and she feels unqualified to talk to her daughter about boys because of her past with men. And so one of the things that I can say to you and to her and to anybody else, that if you feel like your past disqualifies you to lead your daughter in a certain direction, I would say this, that is exactly what qualifies you, because you're speaking from experience and saying, you know what, I did this, and these are my regrets from what I did, and I don't want you to experience the same things that I experienced. So don't ever think that, when you're having open conversation and honest conversation with your daughters, that whatever you've done in the past disqualifies you from gearing her and raising her and sending her in the right direction. The total opposite is true, that you can use your experiences to help her. One of my pastors said this so beautifully. He said, Holy Spirit is the best teacher. And next to Holy Spirit, other people's experience is the best teacher. So if you feel like you've had a troubled past, or feel like there are certain areas in your life that you don't feel qualified to talk to your daughter about, that's exactly what qualifies you. So I don't want you to ever feel guilty or condemned based on what your past is that make you feel like you cannot talk to your daughter, because you can. So that's all. So those are the 7 ways to have great communication with your daughters. And I'm so excited. So like I said, if you would like more classes from me, post it in the comments below. And even the topics that you would like for me to talk about and share on, I'll be more than happy to present those to you. Also, I want to invite you to invite your daughters to become a part of S.L.A.Y Self-Love Academy for Youth. And we have a Facebook group where I do a live in the Facebook group. Now, the reason why I have the group and the group is closed is because I want this to be a place where they can share, they can be free, they can be honest, we can build a sisterhood, and they can encourage one another, they can love on one another. So that's why the group is there. And so the group is Facebook, www.facebook.com/groups/S.L.A.Y for girls. And then on Instagram.com/S.L.A.Y for girls. And I will post those in the comments below. So I want to invite you to invite your daughters to become a part of S.L.A.Y. And thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for trusting me with your daughters. I know that there are some moms who have already joined the group for their daughters. And I'm so excited and so grateful to you for allowing me to be a part of their lives and be able to speak into their lives, and to be a part of your village to help you in gearing them in the right direction. And so, with that being said, thank you so much for being amazing. And that's it. So take great care of yourself, take great care of your daughters, and know that you are so, 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 so amazing.